And the action begins.
The whistle blows and those jammers take off. Quad Squad holding Nefarious up in the back of the pack, and Sequin Destroyer is the lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Knocked to the outside as she approaches the pack on her scoring pass by Dalek Dow, one of the rookies for the Vixens. Sequin Destroyer is back around, making her way through the pack. She calls the jam off, scoring 4 points for the Quad Squad, but it looks like Nefarious snuck through that pack as well, scoring 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Our score right now is tied, 4-4. With the start of the second jam here in this second bout.
All right, for the second jam, looks like we have Happy-Go-Lucky jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens.
She's up against Hammer Abby of the Quad Squad. The whistle blows and they take off from the Plan B jammer line. Hammer Abby fighting her way up against Jean du Snark and A Magnitude. She makes it out of the pack and is your lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Happy-Go-Lucky is making her way past, trying to get past Girl Friday of the Quad Squad. And it looks like Hammer Abby is back around through the pack, calling off the jam, scoring 4 points for the Quad Squad, bringing their total to 8. Vixen still at 4, with about 28 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. Quick jams with just one scoring pass and then calling it off.
It's a great way to keep the other team from scoring those points.
That's right.
Let's see how it happens this time with Alligator jamming for the Quad Squad.
She's up against Jocelyn Helbernell for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Looks like Alligator pulls out quick for picking that lead jam for the Quad Squad.
Quad Squad taking Jocelyn into the inside of the track, keeping her in the back as Allie makes her way around the track, getting through that pack with 5 points for the Quad Squad. That's a Minneapolis Grand Slam.
Yes, indeed it is. Looks like the Quad Squad defense is still going to work on Jocelyn Hell-Burnell.
Meanwhile, it looks like 32 Dalek Dolls sent to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box. And the Quad Squad jammer, Alligator, scoring another 5 points for her team. Mac the Knife taking Jocelyn Hell-Burnell out to the outside. Looks like she might have cut that track. She's sent to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box. And the jam is called with 4 points for the Quad Squad.
As a quick note, if you have a Ford van, it's an E450, license plate 610 BBC, your lights are on.
Last 3 digits of the license plate, BBC, your lights are on. All right, we've got a Quad Squad on. It looks like little Susie Homewrecker jamming for the Quad Squad in a power jam up against her former teammates. A Magnitude looks like new rookie Zoe Dash and Hell, and she makes it out of the pack as your lead jammer. Quad Squad just lining up in back. Susie Homewrecker fighting her way past 2 Vixens, trying to get past, looks like Shantastic McAwesome and Zoe Dash and Hell. She makes it past them with 5 points. That was a grand slam, even though Jocelyn Hell-Burnell made it out of the penalty box. That jam ends, and the Quad Squad is at 27 points now to the Vaudeville Vixens 4, with 25 and a half minutes left in this first period.
Looks like Quad Squad starting off with 2 of their blockers in the penalty box. Only 1 in the penalty box for the Vaudeville Vixens. We'll have Sequin Destroy Her jamming for the Quad Squad.
She's up against Montana Slammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. We call her Monty. Slamming her way in the back, but meanwhile, Sequin Destroy Her picks up lead jam for the Quad Squad. Montana Slammer racing out of the pack, not lead Jam. She's joined by some of the blockers coming out of the penalty box. And it looks like Sequin made her way through the pack, scoring 4 points, calling the Jam off, keeping the Vixens scoreless that Jam. Vaudeville Vixens 4, Quad Squad 31. 24 and a half minutes left in this Jam. And on the Plan B Jammer line, we've got Harleyson lining up for the Vaudeville Vixens, up against...
We've got Hammer Abbey up for the Quad Squad.
Harley fighting her way past some blockers up there on the Quad Squad. Girl Friday, Slayhound. She makes her way out the front as lead jammer. Followed about a quarter track behind by Hammer Abbey. Harleyson hitting the front row of Quad Squad blockers, calling the Jam off. She scores 1 point for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Looks like it was 1 point each on that last pass.
Even Steven, 1-1, bringing the Quad Squad up to 32 points. The Vaudeville Vixens at 5.
Looks like for this Jam, up on the Plan B Jammer line, we'll have Nefarious up for the Vaudeville Vixens and Mac the Knife up for the Quad Squad.
Mac the Knife joins the Quad Squad this year, brand new to that team. You may remember her from such teams as the Unholy Rollers, the Dairyland Dolls, and now skating for the Quad Squad. It looks like she's Quad Squad lead jammer for this Jam, Mac the Knife. Nefarious still fighting her way through the pack, trying to get the help of some of her blockers. Mac the Knife, meanwhile, coming up around the track. She gets through the pack for a Minnie Madison grand slam and 5 points for the Quad Squad.
Nefarious does make it through the pack. Gonna work on getting around for a scoring pass. Unless Mac the Knife calls off the Jam.
Not before she scores another 4 points for the Quad Squad. Out there on the track for the Vaudeville Vixens, we had 3 rookies, I believe. Jocelyn Hell-Burnell. I keep forgetting their names. I'm sorry about that. Whiskey and Choke. And I think we also had Dalek Doll out there, trying to fight off Mac the Knife, but Mac is a pretty strong jammer, so that was a good choice for the Quad Squad.
Looks like the Vaudeville Vixens have called a timeout. We'll take a moment then for a shout out. We've got a shout out here to Anna from Tiffany. Thanks for all the love. That's very sweet.
That is sweet.
Nothing but love here at Roller Derby.
That's right, we're all about the love.
We'll also give a shout out to one of our many sponsors. We're going to talk about Eon Massage and Bodywork. Committed to health, yours and the planet's. Also, how can we really have any kind of discussion around Madison Roller Derby without talking about Fast Forward Skate Center?
That's right. The Mad Rollindales practice at Fast Forward Skate Center. And we even bouted there before we got too big and had to move over here to the Alliance. So, thank you, Fast Forward.
Looks like we're about ready to get back in action here. We've got Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, followed by Susie Homewrecker for the Quad Squad.
Kenna Vendetta and Susie Homewrecker fighting their way through tough blocking walls of the opposing team there. Kenna trying to get up on the inside. Looks like she's knocked to the outside and down with Guacamole. Susie Homewrecker through the pack. She's your lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Kenna Vendetta trying to get some help from her blockers. Trying to make her way past Slayhound, Guacamole, and who else is out there? The manipulator? Hard to tell with all the movement out there. I see Conan the Librarian. That's
I see colors of green, brown, and pink.
Shantastic McAwesome. Looks like she was past the Star Penny helmet. The Star helmet.
WORT Star Pass. Jam is called off.
The jam's called off by the quad squad lead jammer, Susie Homewrecker. She scores more points for the quad squad. They're bringing their total up to 50 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 5. 21 minutes, a little over 21 minutes left in this jam. Left in this period. If the jam was 20 minutes, that would be a long time for that jam.
That would be a very long and exhausting jam.
Jams just last 2 minutes, unless you get to be lead jammer, and then you get to call them right off. We've got Allie Gator for the quad squad up against Jocelyn Hill-Burnell for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Allie pulling through to take lead jam for the quad squad, but she is followed closely by Jocelyn Hill-Burnell.
Jocelyn Hill-Burnell, a rookie for the Vaudeville Vixens. First time out here jamming against everybody. She's pretty agile out there. Getting some help from her Vixens, but the jam was called off, it looks like, by Allie before anybody could score any points. So it remains 50 quad squad, 5 Vaudeville Vixens. We got Jean du Snark on the Plan B jammer line.
And we got then KY Julie is up jamming for the quad squad.
First time seeing KY Julie and Jean du Snark on the jammer line for either team.
Jam begins. Both jammers trying to go up through the middle.
Trying to go up through the middle. A couple of folks fell down there, and they're still making their way through a tight pack. Jean du Snark makes her way out of the pack first for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's your lead jammer. KY Julie, about a quarter track behind her, just gets out of the pack, not lead jammer.
Looks like no points scored on that jam, so our score stays.
For either team, that jam.
Our score stays quad squad 50, Vaudeville Vixens 5. See this jam, we have Sequin Destroy Her jamming for the quad squad. Looks like that's Whiskey and Choke jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Whiskey and Choke, another one of the rookies for the Vaudeville Vixens this season.
Both the quad squad and the Vixens have quite a few new skaters for their teams this year. I think the Vixens had a little bit more.
Sequin Destroyer gets through, takes lead jam for the quad squad.
Sequin spending the summer skating with the Dairyland Dolls. She gets through the pack and scores 5 points for a Minnie Madison Grand Slam. Meanwhile, the quad squad keeping Whiskey and Choke caught in the pack. She's up against Mac the Knife. But it looks like she is called out on a track cut.
That makes this a power jam for the quad squad.
While Whiskey and Choke for the Vaudeville Vixens will take a seat in the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box. Sequin Destroy Her, fighting her way through the pack of Vixens up in the front. She makes it through for another 5 points and a Minnie Madison Grand Slam. You'll notice that the jam just kind of, the motion of the pack just kind of stops when that jammer gets sent to the box, and there's a power jam. That allows Sequin as the quad squad jammer to get around the track as fast as she can and score as many points. She's brought the quad squad lead up to 70 points now. Vaudeville Vixens still at 5. 17 minutes and 25 seconds left in this period.
Looks like the penalty for Whiskey and Choke did expire right at the end of that last jam, so both teams are back up to full force. We have 2 jammers on the line.
We got Fantastic McAwesome of the Vaudeville Vixens and Hammer Abby of the quad squad. Hammer Abby moving up to the front, fighting her way through a wall of Vixens to get lead jammer status for the quad squad. Fantastic McAwesome makes her way out of the pack, but it looks like the referee has called her on a track cut, so she's headed, along with A Magnitude, for another penalty over to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box. Monkey Bar Gym, where Derby girls work out to be strong enough for Derby. This gives Hammer Abby of the quad squad She gets knocked around by a couple of the Vixens, but makes it through for 5 points. And that's another grand slam for Hammer Abby.
Quad Squad really hitting the ground skating quite quickly.
KY Julie coming up there for some offense, knocking the Vixens around so Hammer Abby can make her way through for another grand slam. And it looks like Shantastic McAwesome is back out of the penalty box on the track, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She gets knocked to the outside, brought back. Ooh, and Hammer Abby coming up to the front. She gets knocked down and calls the jam off. She picks up 3 points for the Quad Squad, and that brings their lead up to 93 points to the Vaudeville Vixens 5. 15 and a half minutes in this period. Still a long time to come.
Yep, we're only halfway through. Anything could happen in the remaining half here, and then we have a whole nother half
That's
of
right,
30 or more minutes of derby. Anything could happen.
Quad Squad taking a strong commanding lead though this first period. Up on the jammer line now we've got Harleyson against Mac the Knife. Harleyson jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's in the back, held up by the Quad Squad blockers. Looks like Battle Frog, Alligator. That's some tough animals.
Oh, indeed. Those are not animals I would like to go up
That's
against.
right. Mac the Knife, meanwhile, she gets lead jam, comes around the track, and she just jumped. Not the apex, but I think the straightaway there almost.
Wow.
Jumping over some of the blockers to get her points. Making her way back around, hands in the air, up against the defense of the Vixens, that she just breaks apart for 3 points. I think she got a grand slam though, the other jump through.
I believe she did. That does bring the Quad Squad score up to 101.
Breaking the 100-point mark.
Vaudeville Vixens 5, we've got 14 minutes left in this half.
Plenty of time for the Vixens to come back.
Oh,
John
most
Snark
definitely.
on the line for the Vixens, up against Susie Homewrecker. Susie was my former teammate last year. I like to call her Rexy, so pardon me if I refer to her as Rexy. Getting lead jam for the Quad Squad.
John Snark is close behind her, though.
Both fighting their way against some tough defense on the track tonight.
Quad Squad is down a blocker out there for this jam. Call off.
Thank you. Susie Homewrecker coming up to the pack. She gets knocked to the outside, turned around, and calls that jam off. Quad Squad score a few more points there, 105. Vixens got a couple at 7, and 13-13 in the period.
Got a quick shout out here for Whiskey. Congrats on the new baby. I love you, Frida.
Aww. Lots of love tonight. We got another shout out. Santa's Without Chimneys thanks everyone for the great gifts for homeless kids. Meanwhile, we just missed some great action on the track there.
It's like we have Nefarious jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, but Sequin Destroyer has taken out the lead jam for the Quad Squad.
Sequin comes out of the pack strong, gets lead jam right away. Nefarious was still stuck in the pack. Sequin on her scoring pass. She gets knocked to the outside, brought around, but back through again for 4 points, bringing the Quad Squad up to 109. Vaudeville Vixens at 8, and we've still got 12 and a half minutes left in this period.
John Snark lining up on the Plan B jamming line for the Vaudeville Vixens next to KY Julie for the Quad Squad.
The whistle blows and they take off from the Plan B jammer line.
So
John,
KY Julie trying to force her way through the center with John Snark doing a little bit more work towards the back. KY Julie does get recycled to the back of the pack though.
she's going up against the blockers on the Vixens. We got Zoe Dash and Hell, Shantastic McAwesome, A Magnitude, all trying to keep her back, and Neon Arzik. Meanwhile, it looks like the Quad squad all knocked around. Oh, we got some jammers down on the track, all tangled up there. Rolling around, it looks like they're up, ready to go.
All right,
the jam has not been called, folks. We just got tangled up. Both jammers down. KY Julie gets up, makes it through the pack. She scores a point for the quad squad. Jean Snark is still fighting her way past blockers like Conan the Librarian, Guacamole, and Girl Friday from the quad squad. Greyhound out there too.
She does finally get through.
That was still lead jammer pass, so she doesn't score any points on that. Looks like KY Julie did get around for 4 points for the quad squad. Bringing the quad squad total to 113. Vaudeville Vixens at 8 with about 10 minutes and 25 seconds in the period.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier. Fine chocolates, handmade at 2086 Atwood Avenue in Madison.
Go in and try their hot chocolate or handmade truffles. They are delicious and a great gift idea. Back to the action, folks. We've got Alligator jamming for the quad squad up against Harleyson of the Vaudeville Vixens.
Both jammers fighting it out towards the front of the pack.
Pack spreading itself out. Harleyson held up by Sequin Destroyer and Booty Collins. Meanwhile, Alligator making it out past Montana Slammer, and she's her lead jammer for the quad squad.
Harleyson still fighting against Battle Frog.
Allie making her way past both teams, creating a big gridlock there. She skates out and scores 5 points, passing the jammer for the Vixens. It looks like it's happy-go-lucky for the Vixens. Harleyson must have made a star pass there without us even noticing it.
Happens so fast you can barely even catch it.
That's right.
See our jammers for this jam. We have a Hammer Abby up for the quad squad and Nefarious up for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lining up with about a little less than 9 minutes left to go in this period. And the whistle blows. Both teams tight defense. Trying to hold that jammer back.
Yeah, Hammer Abby trying to sneak around
fight to the outside. They're trying. Hammer Abby to the inside. It looks like Nefarious sneaks by there, picking up lead jammer status. But Hammer Abby is close on her tail. Right behind her, skating in the breeze.
Oh. It's like drifting.
Yes.
Oh, but Nefarious does get through while Hammer Abby is still being held up by the Vaudeville Vixens defense. That's 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Now that Hammer Abby has made it through, she has also picked up 4 points for her team.
Nefarious being knocked down into the outside. It looks like she was called on a penalty box.
Yeah, that was a track cut penalty.
She'll be headed to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box just as Montana Slammer is released.
Now, of course, since she was our lead jammer, we now have a lead jammerless jam, so it will go for the full 2 minutes.
A lead jammerless jam, not to be confused with the jammerless jam. We got one jammer out there, and that's Hammer Abby. She gets knocked to the outside there by the Vixens, brought back and recycled around. Looks like Susie Holmrecker, though, plays a little bit of offense for her, spreading out the Vixens wall and getting her through for another 5 points and a Minnie Madison Grand Slam.
Meanwhile, Nefarious has been released from the penalty box and has re-entered the pack, working on scoring some points to make up for the time she spent in the box, in the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box.
She picks up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Hammer Abby still skating through the pack, another 4 points for the quad squad. These skaters, they get knocked down, they get up again, never to get tired, scoring as many points as they can until that whistle blows. Meaning that's the end of that jam, a whole 2 minutes. Quad squad at 136 points. points. Vaudeville Vixens at 21 points. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in this first period. Thank you all for coming out to our bout tonight. Join us at the after party. Badger Bowl. Looks like we've got an official timeout. The Triple M 2-minute promise official timeout.
Take a moment here to talk about a few more of our sponsors. Sponsors such as GameHoleCon. Be sure to check out GameHoleCon.com and see us next November at GameHoleCon in Madison, Wisconsin's biggest and best gaming convention.
And the official's just making a scoring correction. Gives us some more time to remind you the Mini of Madison is here now with more handles to love on the new Mini hardtop four-door. Keep it Mini at 310 West Beltline Highway. Also, another sponsor, American Family Insurance, the Winnicott Insurance Agency of American Family next to McDonald's on Monona Drive. Protecting futures for more than 40 years. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it. American Family Insurance.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. And later for some more singing from Dolly, but not right now. Back to the action, folks.
Looks like the score has been changed. The quad squad is now at 136 with the Vaudeville Vixens at 18.
We got Mac the Knife starting for the quad squad, trying to dive through the unholy rollers. Mac the Knife lined up on the Plan B jammer line, but it looks like Gouda Riddance is the jammer for the quad squad. That was just a star pass.
Yeah, a WORT star pass.
From Mac the Knife to Gouda Riddance. She is not able to get lead jam with the star pass, but she does pick up 4 points for the quad squad. Zoe Dash and Hell is the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's wearing the star, trying to get past the quad squad. Mac the Knife up front, trying to hold her back, but she does get past, and she has 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. Zoe Dash and Hell is the lead jammer. She's coming back around the back of the pack. Meanwhile, it looks like the Vixens are holding up Gouda Riddance. The jam is called, 2 points for the Vixens. And the quad squad get 5 points on that jam. Or that pass, rather. Quad squad points up to 145. The Vaudeville Vixens at 24. We've got about 5 minutes left in this first period.
This jam will be jammed by Montana Slamma for the Vaudeville Vixens, and it looks like we have Susie Homewrecker jamming for the quad squad.
Susie Homewrecker going to the outside, brought back, coming to the inside, knocked down. Her and Dalek Doll go down to get up. And meanwhile, Montana Slamma is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She just bulldogged her way right through that pack, getting lead jam, come around again, and she just
right around the outside. Fantastic job calling that jam off. It looks like
Montana Slamma called the jam off, picking up some points for the Vixens, but it looks like Susie Homewrecker also got through there for the quad squad, picking up 4 points.
not quite early enough to call that off. Brought the score to 148 for the quad squad and 28 for the Vaudeville Vixens. About 4 minutes left in the half.
Happy Go Lucky on the Plan B jammer line up against Sequin Destroyer. Looks like a little dance action there first, getting the jam started. Sequin fighting against the wall of Vaudeville Vixens. Happy against the wall of Quad Squad. Sequin is out first, and she's your lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Happy Go Lucky getting taken to the outside.
Yep, she has been recycled to the back of the pack by Alligator.
Sequin destroyed her, comes around the track. This is her second scoring pass, I believe. She's made it through there for 5 points. Another 5 for the quad squad. That's 2 back-to-back Mini of Madison Grand Slams for Sequin Destroyer. Brings the quad squad up to 158. The Vaudeville Vixens at 28 points.
Another quick shout out to one of our sponsors. I'd like to call out our sponsor, Glass Nickel Pizza East and Pizza We Trust. They're located down on Atwood Avenue and Fair Oaks.
I'm hungry. Jamming here for the Quad Squad, we've got Hammer Abby up against Jocelyn Hell Burnell for the Vaudeville Vixens. Both jammers being recycled to the back of the pack, not to the inside and outside. Opposing blockers bringing them back. Just now, both jammers knocked down and out of bounds, having to recycle to the back. Still trying to determine which jammer's getting through first to see who's lead jam. Jocelyn Hell Burnell is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She gets through that pack first. Montana Slamma knocking down Hammer Abby. Whiskey and Choke trying to keep her to the outside. She gets through, but meanwhile, Jocelyn Hell Burnell around the track. She scores a Minnie and Madison Grand Slam. As she approaches the pack, calls off the jam. And it looks like no points for the Quad Squad. Perhaps a few points for the Vixens. Vixens bringing that score up to 33 points. Quad Squad at 158. We've still got about a little over a minute left in this period. Stick around, folks. We will be having some fun bowling game at the intermission. As a reminder that you can come and bowl with us at Badger Bowl, sponsoring our after party this evening. Sorry, back to the action. We've got Gouda Riddance of the Quad Squad jamming up against Jean Dusnart from the Vaudeville Vixens. Both getting knocked around, back and forth to the inside and outside.
It's been a very physical game in that pack.
It sure is. Gouda Riddance comes out lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Looks like Jean Dusnart is still stuck in the pack.
Yep, fighting there against Wendy Wanna Die.
Gouda Riddance sails around the outside there, just as the manipulator and Wendy Wanna Die, the manipulator, a rookie on the Unholies. Sorry, guys. Wendy Wanna Die and Matt the Knife keeping Jean Dusnart back. Gouda Riddance scoring for the Quad Squad, calls it off just now.
Looks like 1 point scored for each team on that last pass. With the, let's see, that brings us to the half. There's both teams.
An all-rookie lineup for both teams. That means both the Quad Squad and the Vixens have 5 or more rookies this season.
Yeah,
we've got Dalek Doll jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's up against
Pied Typer.
Pied Typer on the Quad Squad.
Looks like Pied Typer is going out on a forearm penalty.
And Dalek Doll is being called lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. Out there on the track, first season for the Quad Squad, Girl Friday, Conan the Librarian, Super Hooper, and Wendy You Wanna Die. I think they're all out there.
Dalek Doll picking up another 5 points, one of those Minnie of Madison Grand Slams.
And she's coming around again. Her Vixen blockers are Kenna Vendetta, Neon Arzik, and Whiskey and Choke. And that jam ends. No points that pass, but the Vaudeville Vixens bring their points up to 44. Quad Squad at 164, with still almost 29 minutes in this second period.
Yep, anything can happen in this remaining half. We'll see what Montana Slamma, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, can get done with her team, and Sequin Destroy Her here out for the Quad Squad.
Montana Slamma and Sequin Destroyer both trying to fight their way through these packs. Montana up there against Alligator. She's your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Looks like Sequin Destroyer has been recycled back to the back of the pack a few times. Looks like by a magnitude. Montana Slammer almost making it past Alligator, but Allie is going to recycle her all the way to the back, allowing for Sequin Destroyer to make her pass through the pack and start working on her scoring pass.
I see Monty there, Montana Slammer calling off the jam. No points scored for the Quad Squad. 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing their total to 48. Quad Squad at 164 with 27 and a half minutes in this jam.
We'd like to give a quick shout out to another one of our sponsors, the High Noon Saloon, voted Madison's favorite live music venue and Madison's favorite place for karaoke, located down on East Washington Avenue, or just off of East Washington Avenue.
On the track for the Quad Squad, we've got Hammer Abby. She's your lead jammer, making it through the pack there before Harleyson, who's jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Oh, it looks like Dalek Doll falls on the track, but Nefarious quickly just jumps right over her. And Hammer Abby brings it up to the pack, scoring a couple points for the Quad Squad, bringing their total to 167. Vaudeville Vixens at 48. And here's another shout out to a sponsor. We've got Roman Candle Pizzeria, a place where family, friends, and neighbors can gather for good times and even better pizza. Also, Rockabetty's Salon and Spa is a spa and salon that offers an array of unique and fun services such as nail parties and mobile wedding hairstyles and makeup services. Yes, they come to you for your special day.
All right, looks like for this jam we have Battlefrog jamming, taking lead. Oh, no, not quite. I thought she had taken lead jam. In fact, she was going out on a penalty.
Did get out of the pack first, but she's going to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box.
It's a great opportunity for John DeSnark and the Vaudeville Vixens in their power jam to make back some of these points.
John DeSnark fighting against a pack of Quad Squad, making her way through, and she is lead jammer. She calls off the jam before Battlefrog can get in from the penalty box. That's going to keep the Quad Squad jammer off the track for the start of this next jam. Lining up on the Plan B jammer line, we have Whiskey and Choke for the Vaudeville Vixens. Plan B, Madison's favorite gay bar and dance club. Be out, be proud, just be. And the whistle blows. A little bit of quick offensive action on the part of the Vixen blockers there to try and help Whiskey and Choke get through. She gets past the Quad Squad blockers and is your lead jammer. Battlefrog is out of the penalty box on the track, but she's not lead jam. Whiskey and Choke makes it out of the box, or I'm sorry, not out of the box, out of the pack for 5 points. That's a Mae Madison grand slam for the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing their total up to 53 points. Quad Squad at 167. 24 and a half minutes, a little under, left in this period.
Have Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens and Alligator up for the Quad Squad.
Number 9, Kenna Vendetta, rookie for the Vixens this year. She has been, a lot of the rookies have been skating with the Mad Reckendals prior to getting drafted. It looks like that paid off. Kenna Vendetta, your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She powered her way around that Quad Squad defense. Comes back upon the pack here. Going from the outside to the inside. Sequin Destroy her, taking her out to the outside. Right at the top of that apex turn. I almost thought she had it through there with another 4 points. She did get some points there, but
it was very
recycled all the way back and now has to make it past that Quad Squad line of blockers. Sequin Destroy her, KY Julie, looks like Pied Typer and Booty Collins all out there on the track for the Quad Squad. Kenna Vendetta him for another 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. A Minnie Madison Grand Slam.
Alligator has been released from the penalty box and is coming up quick through that pack.
Alligator makes it into the pack. She doesn't score any points before Kenna Vendetta calls that jam. Vaudeville Vixens at 58, Quad Squad 167. We still got 22 minutes to go, folks. And it looks like we got an official time, or a team timeout called. Let's give a shout out here to Pabst Blue Ribbon, PBR, the official beer of roller derby in Madison, PBR and the ASAP. And Papa Murphy's. Every Papa Murphy's pizza is built to perfection with just what you want. Take it home, pop it in the oven, and save it. Fresh, serve it. Fresh for your family. That's what we call love at 425 degrees. 6718 Raymond Road.
Also like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Hinckley Design and Productions. You might see some cameras out here. They make a habit of recording our bouts. They produce everything from videos and commercials to interviews and sporting events, including this one. Hinckley Design and Production takes your project from start to finish. And if you're interested, generally these bouts are recorded, remixed, and in about a week or two will end up on Hinckley Productions' YouTube channel. So if you have missed any other bouts or you feeling particularly nostalgic about this one, want to check out some highlights, head on over to Hinckley Design and Productions YouTube channel and check out all the debut action.
That's right, Hinckley Productions has been recording us since 2008. Not all of them can be here tonight. They're down recording the World Cup in Texas. So some pretty exciting roller derby going on worldwide. But back to the action here against the Vaudeville Vixens in the Quad Squad.
Looks like we have Hammer Abby at lead jam for the Quad Squad, followed closely by Dalek Dove for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Hammer Abby, lead jammer, she gets right through that pack and calls it off, scoring 4 points for the Quad Squad, bringing their total to 171. Vaudeville Vixens at 58.
Lining up on the Plan B jammer line, we have Mac the Knife jamming for the Quad Squad and John Dusnark up for the Vaudeville Vixens. Plenty of time left in this bout here. We have about 21 minutes and 50 seconds. Plenty of time for anything to happen.
Quite a few points to score to catch up to the Quad Squad, but it can still be done. John Dusnark fighting our way past those Quad Squad blockers. Knocked to the inside. Mac the Knife up front against some of the Vaudeville Vixens, but she makes her way through and is your lead jammer.
Looks like John Dusnark was kind of held back there by Battle Frog, got her recycled in the back of the pack. However, she has made it through now, though she is not your lead jammer.
Jam is called off. Mac the Knife brings the Quad Squad total up to 175. Vaudeville Vixens at 60 with 21 minutes left in this period.
Do have another shout out here to Penny and Molly. Guess what? I totally love you. And also I found another $1. Chris.
Another shout out. You got it, Vixens. Your crazed fan, Hayden. And for the Vixens, we've got Jocelyn Hell-Burnell on the jammer line. She takes off with Little Susie Homewrecker for the Quad Squad. Jamming for the Quad Squad. A lot of action in that pack. Both teams just really fighting. Their jammers having to fight to get through there. Jocelyn Hell-Burnell up against Slayhound, Girl Friday. Conan the Librarian and KY Julie. Knocked to the outside. Little Susie Homewrecker does get out of that pack. She's your lead jammer, and just back around the pack, she scores 4 points for the Quad Squad and calls that jam. Another mention to our sponsor, One Barrel Brewing Company. One Barrel Brewing Company, 2001 Atwood Avenue. Beer that's handmade in small batches with love. And Our Lives magazine, celebrating the LGBTQA community and improving readers' quality of life.
Looks like we have Kenna Vendetta lining up as a jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens, with Sequin Destroy Her jamming for the Quad Squad. Both jammers fighting their way through the pack. Kenna Vendetta taking a little spill, working towards the back of the pack there.
Knocked down by the Quad Squad jammers, and it looks like Sequin Destroy Her fighting her way past the Vaudeville Vixens. She's your lead jammer for the Quad Squad. Trying to fight around the outside of the Quad Squad blockers, while Sequin makes her way through. She just got a Mini Madison Grand Slam for the Quad Squad. Quad Squad at 184, Vaudeville Vixens 60. And we've still got a little under 19 minutes in this second period. Thank you all for coming out, supporting the Mad Rollin Dolls. And we'd like to thank another one of our supporters. We've got Hometown Pilates, fitness the way nature intended, corrective exercise for peak performance. A little bit of re-rosining of the track going on. It is a little slipperier here with this polished concrete, so the rosin helps the skaters' wheels grip a little bit better in specific areas like the turns where they're going to get a little slippery. Gives the Vixens a chance to reconnoiter on the jammer line as well as the Quad Squad. And let's see, we've got another sponsor of ours, Mad City Music, Madison's best selection of new and used vinyl, new releases and hard to find titles, new and used, vinyl CDs and more.
We do have another little shout out here. Just a reminder, I'm rooting for Derby.
That's right, folks. We're all rooting for Derby. You may have some special skaters, some special teams that you're rooting for. Make your way to the merch table. Get a shout out to them. Last few minutes of the bout, we'll be able to read those to you. And the donation goes to our charity for the evening. G-Safe with the Trans Youth Leadership Project.
How do we want to give away this last ticket? Because the guy that I grabbed, and he was like, oh, he was like, well,
lots of great action tonight. And back to it, we've got Dalek Doll on the line for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Hammer Abby of the Quad Squad. Gets through on the inside. She's the lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Looks like she's followed closely by Hammer Abby. Oh, Dolico hitting right through the pack, calling off the jam. She picked up 4 points on her pass. Hammer Abby didn't pick up any points on that last one. That brings our score to Quad Squad 184. Vaudeville Vixens 64. Lining up on the Plan B jammer line, we have, looks like John Dusnark up for the Vaudeville Vixens and Booty Collins up for the Quad Squad.
Alligator knocking Jean Dusnark to the inside line. Recycling her back. It looks like Quad Squad jammer Booty Collins is held up behind Donna Stunner in the pack of Vixens there, including Zoe Dash and Hell. She makes her way out of the pack and is the lead jammer Booty Collins for the Quad Squad.
Looks like John Dusnark has been called out on a track cut penalty. She'll be spending 30 seconds in the monkey bars penalty box.
That's not what the Vixens needed just now. But the Quad Squad has a power jam. Booty Collins making her way through that pack. She gets a Mini Madison Grand Slam. Another 5 points for the Quad Squad. Amy and Donna Stunner up with Kenna Vendetta trying to knock Booty Collins around, keeping her from scoring more points. Knocked to the inside, but she comes back around and makes it through that pack. Booty Collins calls off the jam, bringing the Quad Squad Squad lead to 194. Vaudeville Vixens at 64.
Looks like she tried to call that one off before John DeStark was released from the penalty box, but didn't quite make it in under the wire. So we will have both jammers up for both teams now. Speaking of which, who do we have on that line, Dolly?
On the Plan B jammer line, we've got Harleyson of the Vaudeville Vixens up against Susie Homewrecker for the Quad Squad. Both skaters fighting their way through, trying to break past that wall. Harleyson trying to get up the inside up against Conan the Librarian. And up comes Slayhound from the back, knocking her around. Susie Homewrecker taken down by, looks like Nefarious there.
Looks like the Quad Squad's defense is doing a really good job of keeping Harleyson back there.
Wendy Wanadai and Conan the Librarian having their way up there with Harleyson. She gets knocked down but fights her way back up, and as she's fighting in the front of the pack and called lead jam, it looks like the Quad Squad jammer, Susie Homewrecker, was sent to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box.
Wow, it looks like there are only 2 blockers on the track for the Quad Squad right now.
Holding Harleyson back for a moment, but it looks like she got through with a Minnie Madison Grand Slam for the Vaudeville Vixens. Another 5 points.
Looks like Susie
Vixens playing some defense up against Susie Homewrecker, who was released from the penalty box. Harleyson sneaks up right through the pack, right behind Susie Homewrecker. Little jammer on jammer action there on the track. Susie Homewrecker taking the lead, hitting the pack first, but it looks like she didn't score any points before Harleyson called off the jam. And just a reminder, folks, join us tonight at Badger Bowl, where we will be bowling at the after party. Badger Bowl offers live bands, bowling, a full-service bar, restaurant, and catering, so there's something for everyone at Badger Bowl.
And don't forget, if you bring your ticket stub, you can get half price off of the band that's playing, which is Lube. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you at Badger Bowl.
Sequin Destroyer of the Quad Squad is jamming. She makes her way through as lead jammer, and now on her scoring pass just had a Minnie Madison Grand Slam. Shantastic McAwesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens was sent to the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box, so she'll sit there for 30 seconds while Sequin Destroyer will have a power jam for the Quad Squad. Sequin trying to make it through the Vaudeville Vixens. Blockers, Zoe Deschanel, A-Meg, and Jean Dusnark holding her up for a little bit. She gets through, but then is called on a penalty. And it looks like Sequin Destroyer will be sent to the penalty box.
That does release Shantastic McAwesome from the penalty box.
I think
she has gotten through. She has got your lead jam. In fact, we have no lead jam for this jam. It will go a full 2 minutes.
Sequin will be sitting in that Monkey Bar Gym penalty box for 30 seconds. Shantastic was released prior to her sitting down in it. So Shantastic now for the Vaudeville Vixens. Looks like 2 Minnie Madison Grand Slams. One right after the other as we speak. And she sneaks through on the outside with 1 skate. Another 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, narrowing their gap. And she's got to go. Quad Squad still in the lead. Shantastic McAwesome coming up to the pack, trying to narrow that lead, but it looks like Battle Frog knocks her to the outside and brings her back, recycling her. She's got to make her way through the pack, and 2 minutes has expired, ending that jam. Another 2 points for the Vixens and 4 points as Sequin comes back in from the penalty box. Bringing the Quad Squad to 206, Vaudeville Vixens at 85. We got 11 and a half minutes left in this second period. Let's hear it from you, fans. Who's here cheering on the Quad Squad?
And how about who's here cheering for the Vixens? Well, keep on cheering, Vixen fans. They need your help.
Whatever team you're cheering for, we love some roller derby. And on the track now, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, Montana Slamma. Also for the Quad Squad, we've got Hammer Abby following Montana Slamma. So close she had to call that jam. No points scored on either side.
Looks like we'll have Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens and Mac the Knife jamming for the Quad Squad. Got about 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in this second bout of the night. Looks like Mac the Knife takes an early lead and claims lead jam for the Quad Squad.
Mac the Knife just powers her way through there, through the pack, and around the track. Quad Squad holding up Kenna Vendetta while Mac the Knife makes her way through for a powered, a grand slam, a Mid-Madison grand slam.
Looks like the Vixens defense helps Kenna Vendetta get through there. She can now begin her scoring pass. Oh, but the jam is called. Looks like 5 points for the Quad Squad on that one, with 0 from the Vaudeville Vixens. That brings our score up to Quad Squad 216, Vaudeville Vixens 85.
And on the Plan B jammer line, we've got Harley Sin for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's going to be jamming up against Rex or Susie Homewrecker of the Quad Squad. Not to the inside and brought back. It looks like Harley Sin is recycled to the back of the pack. Vixens trying to hold up Susie Homewrecker, but she makes her way through the pack, and she's your lead jammer.
Harley Sin still fighting against the Quad Squad defense.
And it looks like Susie Homewrecker up against a wall in the back, but she breaks away and outside through the pack and scores a Mid-Madison grand slam for the Quad Squad. And it looks like there was a star pass.
Oh, it looks like the Vixens passed the star. There was a WORT star pass.
Poor Jocelyn Barnell can put on the star cover. It looks like the jam was called. Quad Squad at 223, Vaudeville Vixens 85. A little under 8 minutes to go in this jam.
See our Quad Squad jammer this jam is Battle Frog with Jean Dusnark jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Another blocker there for the Quad Squad, Super Duper. Reminds me of one of our sponsors, Super Duper. Super Duper offers digital offset letterpress and hand silk screen printing, and they specialize in CD and DVD packaging and manufacturing. Super Duper and her teammates holding back Jean Dusnark.
Yep, but allowed Battle Frog to get through and claim lead jam for the Quad Squad. Jean Dusnark is breaking through the pack, however, she is not lead jam. She is now eligible to score points, though.
Battle Frog, your lead jammer, she calls off the jam and scores 4 more points for the Quad Squad.
Things are starting to get down to the wire here. We're at 227 Quad Squad, 85 Vixens, with just under 7 minutes to go. Looks like we've got Dalek Dahl jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens and Hammer Addy up for the Quad Squad.
Dalek Dahl, a rookie for the Vixens. Tonight I do feel like a rookie. I've played with those Vixens for 10 years. They're doing a great job holding their own out there with a lot of new rookies. Every team does a great job out here. And Dalek Dahl, your rookie for the Vaudeville Vixens, is a lead jammer for this jam. Hammer Abby getting out of the pack.
Oh, nice juke by Dalek Dahl, getting through on another scoring pass, picking up another 4 points. Calling off that jam.
Nice job by Dalek Dahl. She just kind of squeezed through whatever little spot she saw the Quad Squad leaving. Quad Squad at 227 points, Vaudeville Vixens 89. We've got about 5.5 minutes left in this period. A little bit of dancing out there by Booty Collins up against Whiskey and Choke. Whiskey and Choke trying to get past Sequin Destroyer, Pied Typer, and Gouda Riddance. Gouda knocking her to the inside and bringing her back, recycling her. Meanwhile, it looks like Booty Collins is up there against A-Mag, Neon Arzik, and she gets through and is your lead jammer, Booty Collins for the Quad Squad. Sequin Destroyer.
Looks like our suicide seating over there is getting a lot of action.
That's right, taking out some of those roller girls might get you landed in the lap. It looks like the Quad Squad jammer, Booty Collins, is sent off the track to the Monkey Bar penalty box.
Let's see what...
Whiskey and Choke recycled around to the back. Sorry.
Let's see what Whiskey and Choke can get through here. Looks like she's trying to fight past Gouda Riddance there, as well as I can't quite see who that is.
Slayhound trying to keep her back as long as she can. Whiskey and Choke, not lead jammer, but now through the pack, and the only jammer on the track scoring points. Oh, I spoke too soon. It looks like Booty Collins is now fighting her way through the pack. Gouda Riddance signaling that she knocked Whiskey and Choke out and went back, so Whiskey getting called, I believe, on a track cut.
Ooh.
Sent to that Monkey Bar Gym penalty box. And that'll leave Booty Collins, her turn on the track for a power jam. Not what the Vixens needed right now.
Not at all. And since she went into the penalty box with just under 30 seconds left in the jam, it looks like they will probably end up starting in a power jam for the Quad Squad next jam.
Booty Collins, a Minion Madison grand slam there, raising the Quad Squad total up to 237 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 92. We've got about 3 minutes left in this period, folks. And it looks like Rexy, or Susie Homewrecker, taking the jam line for the Quad Squad. She's up against Montana Slammer and Zoe Dashing Hell from the Vixens, the only two blockers on the track for the Vixens. A lot of them spending time in the Monkey Bar Gym penalty box, but being released slowly but surely. It looks like we've got the Whiskey and Choke jamming back in from the penalty box for the Vaudeville Vixens. She gets out of the pack right as Susie Homewrecker makes her way through that pack for a grand slam for the Quad Squad.
2 points made by the Vaudeville Vixens on that pass. That brings our score to Quad Squad 242, Vaudeville Vixens 94.
And we're at the 2-minute mark. But you know what? These girls are still lining up. They're not going to take a knee like those football players do when they got 2 minutes left.
We're
And
here
they're
to
ahead.
the bitter end.
That's right. We've got Jocelyn Hilber now up against Mac the Knife. Quad Squad holding up Jocelyn in the back. She skips to the outside but is knocked out by Alligator. Mac the Knife, meanwhile, takes lead jam for the Quad Squad. And Mac come for a Minnie and Madison Grand Slam.
Jocelyn Helvanel still being held back by the quad squad defense. However, it looks like she has just been called out on a track cut penalty, so she will be spending the next 30 seconds in the box. The Monkey Gym penalty box, to be specific.
That'll give Mac the Knife a power jam for the quad squad here for 30 seconds. She makes her way up to the front where the Vixens keep recycling to try to knock her out of bounds or down. Mac the Knife powers through another Minnie Madison Grand Slam.
With Dalek Dahl being called out on a penalty, the Vaudeville Vixens only have 3 blockers on the track right now. Though Jocelyn Helbernell has just been released from the penalty box, so they have a jammer at least.
Mac the Knife just making her way around the track again and again. Another Minnie Madison Grand Slam. And with just seconds to go, these skaters are still giving it their all. Let's hear it for them, folks. Cheer on your Vaudeville Vixens. Let's hear it for the quad squad. Who loves roller derby here? Woo! Jocelyn Helbernell, 4 points for the Vixens. And it looks like time has expired, but the game is still going on. We will play until the jam ends, even when the the period clock ends. That's right, folks.
Although that whistle tells us that the game has come to a conclusion. The unofficial final score, Quad Squad 265, Vaudeville Vixens 103. That makes the Quad Squad your victors this evening.
Let's hear it for the Quad Squad, folks. Your winners in tonight's second bout of the night, 265 to the Vaudeville Vixens 103.